Many people are worried because the price of silver has dropped quickly from its all-time high of $54.45 to its current level of about $48.60. This is especially true for people who are new to stacking silver or who got into the market through cryptocurrency. A lot of crypto guys are panic selling, which is costing people a lot of money. These people never thought silver would be a good investment. Stacking could be very dangerous because they didn't know how much silver was really worth. People buy when prices are high. A lot of people are talking about it. The media has covered it. Everyone is interested in silver. Then they get on the silver bandwagon. They get on the train that is shiny, but, like any other asset, it will have to go back a little bit when there is a correction from all that hype, that overbought area. People just don't believe that. Prices can still go up, but they need proof and confirmation. They just don't get why people put money into silver. They don't get it. This is only a short-term problem. They sell in a hurry and lose all their money. It says that the price of silver is less than $48.50 per ounce. But we will still talk about it. In China, it costs more than $80 in total. Now let's talk about what silver is really worth. As Andy Schectman says, this trick is the best way to fool someone. People are not paying attention to the long-term trend and are instead looking at the current price of silver. No, they aren't going to leave it. These investors are making decisions based on how they feel instead of what makes sense. Don't invest with your heart. Instead, use your brain. You could take out all the emotions, like the bad choices, the panic selling, the fear, the doubt, and the dread. That would kill any investment, right? All investors. Realism is very important. You need to be logical and realistic in how you go about things. You need to be able to put your biases aside and say, okay, what's going on? Trading bots are much more accurate than human investors because they don't have feelings. You're welcome no matter what. Thank you for listening to the Silver News every day. My name is Silver Slayer. I also write at noon and 6 p.m. every day. Eastern Standard Time, so if you want to know what's going on in the world, like the event we're talking about in China today and how it affects silver prices, subscribe and hit the bell. Great news! I am giving away something now. In less than 2 weeks, I will be giving away silver. To make sure you don't miss the entry video, subscribe, click the bell, and turn on all notifications. That way, you might be able to win some of those cool things. As I do with all of my contests, I hope the luckiest stacker wins the prize. So, I will add this URL to the description. Silver does not cost $48.50 per ounce. In China, the average price is about $80 per drop. In the ditch. You won't be mad if you go shopping for shoes. Don't worry. You shouldn't worry if the price goes down. I don't care. You won't be the one to complain if the shoes go on sale. You know that the sale is only for a short time, so you buy right away. Take advantage of this chance. The mining ratio right now is 1 ounce of gold for every 7 ounces of silver. It leaks 7 to 1 from the crust of the planet. That would make the price of silver $605, which is in line with the highest prices ever when inflation is taken into account. M2 says that $668 is the highest price for silver ever, taking inflation into account. So, what's the big deal about the 7 to 1 ratio? That was the ratio for the longest time to begin with. Any pricing or valuation process should be based on the fundamentals, not on guesswork or price manipulation. In this case, we're talking about how certain ratios naturally repeat in the context of silver, more than 16 times. For many centuries, the ratio was 16 to 1. Then, When he became president in 1933, FDR lowered the value of silver on his own. It went up from 16 to 1, then down to 75 to 1, and then back up to 1 again. This information comes from my finished book, but it is about the early ratio. The date of publication is still unknown. The first estimate I could find said that there are 2.5 parts silver for every 1 part gold. People thought silver was a magical metal back then. That's right. It reacts differently with other elements than any other element in the periodic table. It can help make drinking water safer. It can help you get rid of germs. Silver works in a miraculous way. It is the best metal for conducting heat, electricity, and light. There is nothing else like it. God gives silver money. It is also much more useful than gold. Sorry for that short rant though. Wall Street Gold says that JD.com says the Shanghai Gold Exchange vaults lost 64 tons of silver, which made prices go up to $61 to $128 per ounce. Silver fell 3.9% to $51.26 per ounce on the Shanghai Exchange. But the real markets tell a different story. JD.com had raw silver prices between $61 and $128, which shows how high retail prices are in China. The fact that these vaults lost 64,000 kilograms, or 855 tons, shows that there isn't much physical supply, even though paper prices are going up. It's easy to see the difference between paper and real silver these days. If they keep using the COMEX silver price, that means they haven't looked very far. Bankers made up the fake $48.50 spot price, which is a derivative illusion that has nothing to do with the real deal. The Chinese market is showing its true colors by buying real silver at prices over $80 per ounce instead of borrowing. Arbitrage wins in the real world. Metals move west from the vaults to Asia's open hands, where they will be honest. The East does what the West does. That's a good point. Yes, that is true. The East does what the West does. In the Shanghai vaults, paper contracts are real, because you have to bring real gold into the vault to get one. They can't just make them like they can on the COMEX. That's why the contracts that are written down and the ones that are real are so different. In China, you have to physically return paper contracts to make sure that there is real metal behind them and that the market isn't getting too big. For example, this ounce of silver could belong to 250 other people. But since no one else can touch it, I am the only one who owns it. To own something means you can hold it. You're wrong, though. People who try to get them later find out that they never really had the silver when they return the paper contracts. The East is copying what the West does. If there is that much physical support for the paper, it is only for show. Moscow sent bully to Hong Kong again, and now the whole thing is starting over. People who don't know better still think that empty promises mean something in the silver world. The report is worth. The gold standard was what backed our money. It was a dollar bill that was a silver certificate. It would be a sign that I could trade it for gold and silver. The same thing is happening with the COMEX paper contracts. Our contract says that I can sell it to you for metal, but you can't. Also, most people would rather pay with cash anyway, turn them over. So you can tell that they are talking about that. I'm just trying to give some background on what he said. The goal of the banksters, or bankster smashes, is to get people to buy things and not buy things. Don't be fooled. Buy the dip now. A lot of crypto guys seem to be selling at a loss right now. They had to pay a lot of money in premiums, which hurt their finances a lot. Everyone who works at the London desks is now very scared, trying hard to get rid of longs by hitting paper and silver. Salespeople are using fear instead of power as a way to get people to do what they want. Those stand-up positions have no real meaning. Just piles of contracts on top of empty space. There is nothing inside the cabinets. The bulls know this. A real customer who knows about the scam will never get to delivery day, and every dip draws them in. The fake bears that made fun of these metals are now stuck with them and outnumbered. You can't short something that doesn't exist in real life, so silver's truth will come out above 54 after the smoke clears and the paper burns. That's a line, I guess. You can't short something that doesn't exist in the real world. Ted Butler, may you rest in peace. You were the one who told the truth. He revealed these criminals on the COMEX. He showed the facade. In this world, he found out how silver was being used and how corrupt it was. Ted Butler's writing always focused on that. In the end, it's pointless to try to short something that isn't there. This won't go unpunished. No matter what happens with manipulation or shorting, the basics of silver, its use case, and its true value to industry every day will always win out. This is really crazy. The trader thinks that a big market for gold futures will develop. All of the dealers agreed that the futures market would be much better than the physical market. People also thought that the market would be very unstable because there were so many futures deals going on. People in the US probably wouldn't hoard things for a long time because prices change so often, which would lower the initial need for physical holding. That's right, they really don't want you to get your silver. Every day, Western bankers trade more than 800 million ounces of silver, which is about the same amount as a year's worth of production. Anytime. We find out what the total output for the year is. It's all an optical illusion when you look at it on paper. A sell-off that can be done with a mouse click makes people think that silver is weak. Andy Schectman is correct in asserting that price is the most effective means of deception. Shanghai is less dumb. The Eastern way to measure value is by metal, not margin calls. As I said before, you can't just pull a paper contract out of thin air there. You have to give up metal for that paper contract to be valid. A leaked diplomatic cable once proved the truth. The futures market was set up to keep real investors away by making volatility a weapon. The price goes down as expected. The story goes on below. People who sell mining gear are tricked into giving up. Silver doesn't just disappear, it moves. The East is quietly putting together facts, while the West plays games with paper. We do it too, just like you. Get the dip. You might not be able to find any more real gifts like this one in this market. Another good point. We saw what silver did. It was a huge event. This is the drop from the 45-year cup and handle that silver saw after it broke out at an all-time high. It was unavoidable that this would happen. But once it gets back to that level, it will keep going up. This could be our last chance to get these prices, in the same way as the 48s. We are getting close to $54, $55, $56, $57, and $58. After that, it will go down to $56, $55, and $54. Then it went up to the mid-60s. After that, it will go down to the mid to upper 50s. So, this is the base of the first retreat until it goes a leg higher. We might not get another chance to get an ounce for less than $50. So take full advantage of it. When will you finally say, I'm not going to pay this price anymore? Have you ever thought about a real price? Also, have you thought about what price you would be willing to sell for? I like both of them the same. Have you ever thought about that? I will sell as soon as it hits $500. But once it hits $100, I won't buy anymore. Do you ever think about when you will stop buying and when you will start selling? A lot of people don't think about that. This slump is really an opportunity that is hiding behind worry. Do you agree? That's all there is to it. People with weak hands are giving money to people who can see through the illusion with every ounce of gold and silver they sell. Yes, very much. It makes no sense for anyone to be trading that digital money for real money. It's obvious that they're insane. Here it is. I really think they are wrong. We can see the illusion. He delivered it perfectly. Choose this dip. This could be the last real gift you get from the market. You won't be able to find these silver miners at such a low price again. I meant silver miners. I'd rather not talk about it. The downturn is really a chance hiding behind the worry. The only truth will be the systems that show real assets. Yes, as I said before, silver stackers will eventually have to deal with the consequences. I will now end this video, no matter what. There will be a link to the article in the description. If you want some of this beautiful metal, Miles Franklin is the place to go. Andy Schectman is the only owner of this business. We have been serving the public for over 30 years. Every week you can buy gold, silver and platinum at great prices. Because of this, we also have sales going on, and silver is very cheap right now. So you get a discount on top of the silver discount. There is a twofold drop there. Take full advantage of it. Tell everyone that Slayer sent you. Send an email to milesfranklin.com. Tell people that Slayer sent you. You will be glad you bought this dip, because we have a lot of great products and prices. Yes, you will. A lot of people would be jealous that we could buy silver for $48. A lot of people would like to be able to pay this fee on October 21st if they could just build a time machine. Why? Because a lot of people will have to pay a lot more in the future. I promise you that much. Pay attention. I think that's it for this video, everyone. Thanks a lot for coming by. Silver, the Slayer, was here. I plan to see all of you tomorrow. You can watch my most recent video if you want to know what the current prices are. I explained exactly why this happened, and this one goes into more detail about the silly reasons why you shouldn't worry. So, I'll see you all later. No fighting.